So hello and welcome to the third episode of Legion, and we're back with Jason, Megan, and me. So how are you doing, guys?
Doing well. How are you, Caro?
Still doing amazing. It's a nice weekend. It's sunny. We left off during the last episode with the Black Cube.
And being new to many Warhammer things, my first question to Jason was, do we know what the Black Cube is? What does the Black Cube mean? Is it seen on other worlds?
I'm clueless.
Yeah.
But we find out in this installment that the Black Cube can potentially kill off all life on the planet, which would be bad, especially for the Alpha Legion, since apparently most of them are now on the planet, as we find out later.
Yeah, at least the leadership.
Yeah, it really feels like a bad idea, tactically speaking, because, big spoiler alert, not only do we find out that both of the Primarchs are on the planet, but also the captains of their first and second company and the captain of their Terminator Elite.
Yeah, and honestly, no matter how many Hydra heads you have, if all the heads are get chopped off at the same time, it's not like it can survive.
I don't really understand how that seems like a good move for anybody. I mean, you never want too much of the heads of something in one place, because what happens if there's...
You lose your whole command structure at once.
Right.
It's like with the guys who know the recipe for Coke. They never are allowed to fly on the same plane. So this should have been brought down on history to the Alpha Legion, so they would have known what they should not do. But of course, it has been lost in the history.
To clarify, you mean Coca-Cola the soda and not cocaine?
Yes. I don't know about cocaine if it has only two people who know how to make it. I doubt that. But Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Side note, Atlanta is where Coke is from, and I've heard there's a Coke world in Atlanta, and every Coca-Cola flavor available worldwide is available in Coke World, and you can get a cup and go into the tasting room and taste any flavor from any continent you want. It just sounds fun.
Yeah, I have been in Atlanta once, and at the airport hotel, I told the guys, yeah, I take Coke or Pepsi, whatever you have. And this guy looked at me like I'm crazy, and like, it's gonna be Coke.
Yeah, because you're in the home of Coca-Cola.
And I did not know about it. To be fair, I rarely know about the cities I'm going to. I don't know, I keep forgetting to Google them.
It's one of the only things I really know about Atlanta. Just think about the SNL episode when Atlanta got the freak ice storm and it caused all those accidents and it shut down the city because Atlanta doesn't get snow or ice, so they didn't know how to handle it when they got ice. And so they were joking about the champagne of the South, sweet Coca-Cola. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Fair. And Atlanta is the airport and Coke now, I guess.
A sweet Dixie champagne, Coca-Cola. Okay, sorry. Back to Legion and the Alpha Legion.
Yeah, back to the Black Cube.
Not understanding the lessons we've learned from Coca-Cola, that you don't put all the command structure in one place and put them at risk of being wiped out.
Especially if you're fighting against a force which should have been won against long ago and far away, but somehow they managed to survive everything, so that's kind of concerning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now that makes me kind of wonder what's going on with the Black Cube. And I mean, I was already wondering how they were able to withstand all of this, but things are not looking so good when we get into these chapters for the Imperial forces.
No, it looks pretty bad.
You have John Grammaticus handing himself over and a black mist overrunning some of the outposts, which they never really explain fully what the black mist is.
Oh, yeah, that's far down the road.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I guess I'm skipping ahead to the things that stuck out to me the most because I didn't fully understand what was going on.
That's fair, yeah, because we are catching up with the Geno again a little bit, with the Oxers.
Let's see here. Yeah, Honan Mu is laying down the authority on her on all of her aides. They're making a few tactical assessments of raiding parties from the Nerthine. And they are gossiping about a spy getting within, like, poking distance of Lord Alfarius and the Lord Commander Namajira.
Poking distance, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it clearly happened. And also, the rumor mill says that whoever it was killed a Lucifer plague, but nobody says it's true or not, because it would be pretty embarrassing if a Lucifer plague got killed by somebody.
Indeed.
Which now makes me wonder, does nobody know any of them? Would it not, wouldn't nobody see that the poor guy who got killed last time doesn't show up for breakfast? Maybe he's on a secret mission, though, so...
I think the other Lucifer Blacks know. I think they just don't want it getting outside to anybody else.
Yeah, fair. And probably they are just so closed off nobody else knows. They just know they're Lucifer Blacks, but not who is what or who is whom.
Exactly. I'm guessing they don't know who all of the Lucifer Blacks are. I'm guessing they don't know really anything about the Lucifer Blacks. Because they wear helmets and, they're not fully identified to others except amongst themselves. So,
yeah.
Jason, isn't it kind of similar with the Death Guard guys? Nobody knows who they are, and they kind of officially die in order to join.
The Death Shroud?
Yeah, Death Shroud. There we go.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think once they join on to, like, the bodyguard specifically, then... Or wait, is that the Sanguinary Guard? Because I know the Sanguinary Guard are definitely supposed to... what's the short story? I think it's called Better Angels by John French.
Mm-hmm.
And it explains how the Sanguinary Guard supposedly give up their identities and are treated as dead so they can undergo, like, really, black ops sort of, elimination missions. And, with the... when they return to service, they, remove the masks. They're no longer Sanguinary Guard, and they are, no longer considered dead.
Oh, I didn't know about that part. I know the Death Shroud, nobody really knows who's members or who's the member of the Death Shroud, I think. There's something in the Flight of the Eisenstein, which was mentioned.
Right. It has been quite a while since I've checked out the Flight of the Eisenstein. That is a classic. Yeah,
it's on the list one day. But back to the Lucifer Blacks.
Right. So yeah, chances are, much like I think Armored Space Marines, unless you're really paying attention, I'm guessing the Lucifer Blacks all kind of look alike to everybody who's not a Lucifer Black.
And probably you don't want to look at them too close because it could make you suspicious.
Yeah. I mean, because they're like the Space Secret Service, right?
Yes, we need a Space Secret Service. The deadly Space Secret Service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. What's going on here with Uxor Mu?
Oh, she's mad. She's mad at Roxana.
Yeah.
I thought you meant she's mad as in she's slightly crazy. I'm like, yeah, she's crazy like a fox, but boy, she's trying to seize her opportunity to advance herself.
She's crazy for power?
Yes.
Or mad for power? Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Well, at least Boone is on her side. The good old Gene Whip.
Well,
right, they found, it's odd because they found something out. So he wants to figure out if this affair idea they had is true or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wonder, does he even bring it up if he already knows that it is not what is truly happening?
I feel like Boone is kind of like 3 or 4 steps behind everybody else. Like, he's like, Uxor Roxana has escaped, like, right? Because he's kind of trying to, like, follow up behind everybody else, and he's like 3 or 4 steps behind because...
But he's trying to feel important.
Yeah.
He's a Gene Whip. That's an important name. You gotta at least pretend you know what you're doing. It's not because Moo seems to believe it for a second until he tells her what's going on. So, I don't know. This whole scene is a bit odd.
Well, to be fair, he's also trying to relate that he thinks that 3 of their most senior hetmen are in some sort of conspiracy together.
Right, because this was after Sonika threw one of them into the latrine pit.
And then ran off.
Yep.
So then Moo, which I think is kind of funny, she actually listens to all of his conjectures and everything with a straight face, and then she just straight up takes him to see Bronzy and Sonika.
And he tries to arrest him.
Which, I mean, of course, goes about as well as you would expect. And Sonika, of course, has a really half-assed excuse.
But he has a piece of paper which helps him there.
He does.
Sort of.
It helps good enough for Boone. I guess Moo just has a lot of trust in them. Which, I mean, it's awesome that she trusts them, but...
I feel like Moo wants to believe in anything that is going to help her get an advancement.
Fair. And the whole story of Sonika having a trauma, just having some traumatic experiences and trying to help somehow. At least it doesn't make her look like she is betraying anybody. It's just a guy that went a bit crazy.
Yes. And so that doesn't make her look bad.
Yeah.
And now she can say, hey, I'm going to help find whatever's going on, and I'm going to serve it up, and then I get to be the hero. And it feels like she really was kind of jealous and hated Uxor Rakshana, and now this is her opportunity to be like, yeah, I'm better than her, and so I deserve to be here, and I deserve to get more respect. So I think she's really easy to persuade that this happened because it's sort of what she wants.
Yeah, true. Especially
Plus,
if
they give her a little bit of flattery. Oh, wouldn't you have been able to escape with all of your powers?
And before that, she is sending Bronzy and Sonika out to get Ruxana.
Mm-hmm.
Because she still needs to tie up this open end, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gene Whip already failed once to get her. I mean, he didn't get her, but he didn't manage to get any proof. So hopefully her best men are able to do it.
I mean, Boone tried, and literally 33% of his party was hurled into a shit chute. So,
as you so delicately put it,
he's not good at his job. Not Grammaticus bad, but not great. John Grammaticus is bad as his job.
You're sticking with that, huh?
I am.
Your hard line in there. That's your line in the sand. That
is my line in the sand, and on this side of it, John Grammaticus is bad at his job, despite ostensibly having, 1,000 years of experience at it?
Yeah, 1,500 years.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see here. Boone checks out. Moo wants to talk about picking up Ruxana and figuring out what's going on with her deal before the Lucifer Black start investigating too deep, because it's going to look super, super shady if they're straight up a traitor in the midst of the Geno Chiliad and they haven't done anything about it.
Yeah, they need to look for company first, Imperium second, Geno before Gene. They need to, of course, clean up their own house first before they can go and ask for help. Well, not even ask for help, they just don't want it to come out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But hey, upside to this scene, since Demi Shaban is liberally painting the inside of a warehouse somewhere, Pedo Sonica gets officially added as the new het for the clowns. That's a thing.
Hey! I don't know, would you want to go from the dancers to a clown?
Well,
it's better than being a traitor.
Yeah.
Or dead, I guess.
What else? Sonica. Sonica is such a stand-up person, and I think he feels bad for the choice he made. Because they always said Geno before Gene, an Imperium second, and now he has another party, which is more important than whatever he whatever he believed in before he did.
I don't think he liked the fact that he was faced with a choice and had to make it. I don't think he wanted to make that choice.
That's fair.
Yeah, Bronzy never seemed to be too bothered, I guess. At least not in the way Sonica is.
Bronzy seems more pragmatic, because he's even the one that suggests, like, that whole Geno before Gene thing. I mean, that's just something we say, right?
Yeah, true believer versus opportunist, I guess.
Yeah. Bronzy seems to be... Pedo Sonica seems to be still in that, like, bright-eyed, younger officer deal,
Fair.
where Hurtado Bronzy is, like, on the really jaded end of, practicality.
Yeah, he's probably seen way more than Sonica.
Yeah.
But Sonica is also good enough to get a new company after what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we swap over to Shane. Shane?
Yeah. So Chain in his little meditation chamber. Out of most of the human characters, I really like Bronzy because he's pragmatic, and I like Chain because he's like hyper competent and pragmatic.
Right? He's not even perpetual, and he is super hot on John's tail.
Right?
One of Jason's favorite things to say is, "I like people that are good at their jobs."
Yes.
True. And Chain is pretty good at his job. I mean, where everybody else is derping around, and John Grammaticus has, 1,000 years of espionage experience. Dinas just kind of does some quiet yoga in his cell and thinks about it, and it's like, oh wait,
I think I figured this thing out.
Yeah, the best cover a spy could have was to be a spy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The best is the guy who he gave the gene or the paper to. He told him, if you lose it, I'm gonna kill you. So finally the guy figured out what it is and brings this piece back to him just so the door opens. He's like, yep, I know who it is. Is it this one? And he's like, yes. It has to feel super weird too.
Mm-hmm. Like, that poor jerk is probably not getting any sleep and just sweating buckets every second of the day until he can bring this back. And then he finally gets the lab to confirm it, and he's bringing it back to Chain, and Chain's like, no, I don't need that, I already figured it out.
Yeah, told you so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he closes down the Uxor Said's quarters. Is this Rukhsana's second or last name, I guess?
Yeah, Rukhsana Said.
There we go. So they go on lockdown, but Bronzy and Sonica are going to pick her up as well because Holden Moo told them to go after them. Just like planned.
Just like the plan. And at this point, once they, let's see, she finds out about Henneke. I think she may have, kind of gotten an idea, but kind of took her a while, right?
I still think that she's going to play some sort of a role that we don't fully understand yet. Because Grammaticus just trusted her really, really easily, and she's, saying that she's, I don't know, just something still feels off about that. And I think she knew before all of that came down that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
She's too smart not to have figured out something was weird. People are talking about her.
I mean, she only goes with Bronzy and Sonica because they tell her Henneke sent them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she follows them. Clearly, this is true. No proof, nothing. Let's just go ahead while my quarters are getting shut down and people are looking for me. To be fair, I think I would also have followed. I'd rather would go with those two guys I kind of know than to wait for the Lucifer Blacks.
Because, of course, they're raiding her apartment as Sonica and Bronzy are trying to talk her into lure her into a speeder to get out of there.
And they're hurting a 13-year-old girl. Jane is just straight up rude.
Well, to be fair, Tuvi is also, like, the worst.
I think, and I'm not to defend smacking a 13-year-old girl.
Well, he isn't smacking her, he just kind of tries to crush her face.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Which is worse? I don't know.
I'm going to squeeze your head until you tell me what I want to know.
Yeah, but you don't have power armor squeezing it, making it feel like you're going to make my head explode.
Jason, don't do that.
I mean, otherwise it's just like a delightful scalp massage, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Our video's not on. They can't see what you're doing right now, but
You're just going to have to imagine.
yeah.
Oh no.
This is the military, and she has been in this sort of command structure, so she's not surprised by this action. I don't feel like...
Oh no, and I mean, she tells the truth right away. She tries to protect her own again. Especially it's her Oxer, so if she is nice to her Oxer, there's a high chance that she's gonna get this place.
Right.
Right.
So again, she's really worried about her own career advancement, which is not what most 13-year-old girls are concerned about. So,
But it is a little bit funny, too, that it's literally less than a paragraph. Because she's like, despite her youth and hunger for command, she also firmly believed in the adage, company first, Imperium second, Gino before Gene. She'd been raised that way. And then Jane just, like, squishes her head a little bit, and she's like, 10 minutes. They were here 10 minutes ago. She went with Sonica. Don't squish my head.
I mean, it had to be here. It looked as gentle as a lover's touch, but the compression pain he was exerting was immense.
Right? I feel like Dan Abnett has described, like, intimate things super awkwardly, like this entire book, almost to the point like he's trying. And it's a little off-putting.
yeah. I mean...
The grip had made Tuvi quickly re-evaluate her priorities.
Right.
It would make me reevaluate, too. I mean, if you're going to crush my skull, I mean...
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to be touched by strangers. I don't want to be touched by a secret agent who also tries to squish my face.
Right? Like, I don't want that. Please leave.
No, thank you, please.
But, so hey, at least Ruxana's out of her apartment, at least, right?
Yeah, she's out. They are about to board the speeder.
Yeah.
But they are also using some special stuff. Because, of course, they know or they are behind them. So they can't just use their own keys. It would just get locked down and probably alert an alarm.
Yeah, so they use this blank biometric that the Alpha Legion... Oh, wait, hang on. I wanted to talk about this. So they don't steal a speeder, they steal a scurrier.
Is there a difference?
So apparently, let's see, Bronzy Gun, the engines brought the scurrier to life. It rose on its 20 sets of caliper legs and spurred forward, leg units running in syncopation, racing it across the earth like a giant centipede. How weird a vehicle is that? Like, imagine all the maintenance all those tiny little creepy spider legs must take. How is that a better idea than a speeder?
Okay. Maybe because of all of the creepy little legs, it can cover rougher terrain and, like, go up the sides of, like...
Than just flying.
Oh, no. You know, they can't
What if
fly.
they wanted to climb up a building?
Also, Jason, they can't fly right now because of the air magic stuff. If it has still something on the floor... And maybe it's just, maybe one of the Mechanicum guys is like, flying? No, we need spider legs. All the spider legs.
That does sound like an argument the Mechanicum would make. It's like, now, anti-gravity's hard. It's far easier to just, like, synchronize and perform the maintenance on all 20 sides, all 20 of these sets of legs on a vehicle that's, I don't know, ostensibly the size of, like, a speeder, so like the size of like a large SUV, I guess.
Okay, now this whole description creeps me really out because it moves like a centipede.
Yes.
Yeah, and centipedes are creepy.
Yes. 2 to 4 legs is the perfect amount, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for giving Caro nightmares. That's very nice.
Right? Ugh.
And it even in the next paragraph, the scurrier's mode of ambulation provided a soft rolling sensation of travel, despite the high speeds Bronzy was making across the dunes. It just...
So she's traveling in comfort.
Right.
In creepy comfort.
If you don't think about it too hard.
That's the tagline. That's how they sell it.
Also,
Creepy
maybe the speeder, which is very bumpy on sand or has issues with sand because it's not really straight, would just fly away. I don't know.
And this passage kind of made me think about something as we were reading this. I don't know if this novel passes the Bechdel test.
Honestly, I don't think most of the novels I read here would.
I don't think most Warhammer is going to pass anything from a feminist perspective because it's all about juvenile spacemen who never grew up and want to, see who has the better armor.
I mean, Space Marines are indoctrinated child soldiers.
Yeah.
So
honestly, there's some which it would probably pass when Remembrancers are in it.
Rukshana and Honan Mu do talk to one another, and I think it's about a job.
No, it's also about the spy, isn't it also? I don't know if they talk enough about something which is not related to a guy.
Yeah, it feels like...
It probably would have passed it.
Yeah, but if you're fishing for technicalities at that point, I kind of think you're going against the spirit of the deal in the first place. So... Because this passage made me think of it, because, the first thing that Rukshana asks Sonika is Konig all right? How's Konig Kinnika? How's my mysterious space boy?
But we do have Rukshana talking to her, trainees about how they're going to set up the battlefield and how they're going to prepare.
That's true. Mu does, break bad on a few of her aides. Shut up. Stand still. Do your job.
Grab wine and bread. So, yeah, it would probably pass, yeah.
But not in a very good spirit of it. Because she's just, snapping orders and commands at them.
They talk. It counts.
I think that's something we should start adding, is, trying to find Warhammer novels that do pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah, we could just have that as a rating at the beginning of the episode.
I still have the plan to put in a counter for every time a person pees themselves in one of the podcasts.
Excellent.
I just didn't find the right sound yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think it happens here, actually.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I would remember that, and I didn't.
Not so far.
You said something about peeing themselves when they see the Emperor. I didn't know that was a Warhammer thing. People
it absolutely is a thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When they see
very
their
hard
son.
to look at.
Okay.
Usually,
all right. Well,
it is
something to look forward to.
Totally.
There we go.
Men peeing themselves.
Oh, not just men.
Okay, not just men peeing themselves.
I think it's only men peeing themselves. Well, we'll see. We get there when we get there, I guess.
Nobody pees themselves in this novel.
Yes. So far, nobody has peed themselves. Everybody's good. But Rukshana knows they're lying. She figures it out right away.
Yeah, but they're not trying that hard. They're trying to hand wave, literally hand wave a whole bunch of stuff to
Right.
So it's no, Army intelligence can't talk about it.
There we go. It needs to be a Cabal thing. She has been found out. They lied. Oh, God.
Right. In Bronzy, it even says he's, awkward and unsettled. And it's no, we're totally telling the truth.
And then she says it. I'm just doing it because I love him.
Right.
I told you she's in love. Oh, it's such a cringy line.
This feels like the ultimate... you've heard the saying before, show, don't tell. This feels like the exact opposite of that. We have been shown nothing of this, much talked about romance. We have just been told.
Honestly, I don't want any romantic parts in my Warhammer books. It would just be so off-putting.
Okay, all right. But can I counterpoint to that?
Yes.
Jason and I have listened to some novels that have just the cringiest love, romance, and we absolutely love to make fun of them. So bring on some Warhammer romance, because there is actually a line, and this is from a Jim Butcher book, where a man breathes his hot breath on the back of a woman's hand, and that's, makes her heart skip a beat. And I'm like, and so now we joke about hot breath on the back of each other's hands.
Hot hand breath.
Right? Like, what is romantic about that? I don't know.
I mean, they already have Warhammer Horror and Warhammer Crime now. Like, bring on Warhammer Lifetime movies. Like,
there we go. Warhammer Romance. The first one is about Fulgrim before he turned into something. Apparently, he was a real darling to look at, so...
I mean, I know somebody that's going to listen to this is going to shriek, like, "You've never read Love Can Bloom!" And I am aware, I know all of the 4chan things, I got up earlier than you this morning. Yeah. I know about it. But, I mean, official Warhammer, brand new stamp Warhammer 40K endorsed romance. I want it. I want it now.
I want to hear just how awkward it gets. That's what I'm just looking to hear it so that I can laugh. All right? I'm not going to lie. That's what I want it for. I'll pay good money. Bring on the chuckles.
Warhammer. The Space Marines. Lonely in space. The biggest romance there is out there.
I mean, it would force them to finally button down on the question almost no fans are asking.
Shouldn't ask.
Right. It's what's going on with Space Marine junk?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, nobody does.
I don't want to know.
It's this constant thing. Do Space Marines reproduce? Are they asexual? Or are they just essentially like Jedi, where they just steal a child from somebody?
Are they like gay penguins just stealing other chicks?
Just stealing other babies.
Yes, babies or eggs or I don't know. Let's stop there. Let's stop there.
Now I'm not going to be able to think of Space Marines laying eggs. So spectacular.
You're welcome.
All right, so...
Yeah, and on that lovely, disturbing note...
Yeah, let's talk about Bronzy and Pato dumping Rukshana off in the middle of the otherwise featureless desert.
Yeah, she tries to apologize. I don't know what she apologizes for, but she tries to.
I mean, if I was getting turned over from Space Marine to Space Marines, what's basically their secret police, I'd probably be a little worried too. Not, firing on all 8 cylinders.
Yeah, but her line is, "But I love him. But I did it for love." No, he didn't.
I'll say also she can recover a little bit from that. I just did it for love. Dude. Okay, stop shitting me. Tell me the truth, Bronzy. It's nothing like you said. Give me the real thing. Schwätz Tacheles, mein Lieber.
Right? It's you're turning me over to the Alpha Legion so I can just get straight murked the second you turn around, right? Be honest.
And they don't say yes, they don't say no, they're just which is not what I would want to hear from people who just are delivering me somewhere.
Right, and though it's just as kind of awkward to listen to when Bronzy and Sonica are now ambulating back in the scurrier with trying to make conversation. Scary bastards, huh? I love how Bronzy is even you don't like this, do you?
No shit.
No shit. Oh, man. Good times. So, yeah, they managed to get a half a kilometer back from their, where they, checked out of the motor pool before 2 gunships piloted by Lucifer Blacks just tell them to pull over and
overshoot you.
Yeah, get locked down. And I love Bronzy's, like, oh my gosh, like the Alpha Legion here are amazing at their jobs, because when they get piled out like they're being, drug busted on the side of the road, Bronzy's like, is this about Uxor Rakshana? Can you tell me where she's gone? And like, that's their cover, and amazingly, it works.
Right? Especially
Like-
it freaking fools Chain, and he's so good at thinking through all the stuff. But this one absolutely makes sense.
Yep. Because just in the next chapter, like, he's reporting to Namet Jira, and Chain's like, we let them both go because their story checks out. They were just looking for Uxor Rakshana. They just took her out into the desert for private interrogation, and
She broke off.
yeah, they were real embarrassed about it.
See, if a guy is embarrassed, it could not possibly that he's lying. If he's truly embarrassed, that's the truth.
Gotta be true.
Right,
Exactly.
because what two guys, like big, beefy, strapping man dudes, are just gonna admit that a tiny girl like broke away and lost him in the desert?
Yeah, and there they are also putting honey, are flirting with Moo again, like you said
Right?
earlier, Megan. Like, yeah, you would have been able to break up. No?
Priorities in place.
Just is not the time for it. And even Namet Jira was like, didn't they check out a vehicle with like some sort of, counterfeit biometric? And Chain's like, nope, it was definitely Bronzy's, it just didn't swipe cleanly. Like, his, I don't know, it was like reinsert chip card, and, it was Bronzy's now that it's just been apparently advised to Chain that it's happening pretty often with the scanning glitches because of this crazy dust on this wacky dust world.
Yeah, it checks out, works out. Let's look at other things.
Yeah, and he just goes for it. So anyhow, Namet Jira's like, playing with his thylacine, and
Playing with his thylacine.
Yeah,
That just sounds funny.
I mean, I think it's supposed to. It's like a tiny Tasmanian tiger. What are you going to do?
Play with the kitty, the murder kitty. Yeah, Mood tries to give him some shit too. Doesn't really work out, and they just all kind of go back to their job. I mean, Sonica just got a new gig.
Right. Sonica's still moving up in the ranks, and he's under investigation from the Secret Service, so everything's going well. Though I do absolutely love that Namet Jira straight up asks Dinas Chain, like, do you believe any of this? And he's like, I don't have any reason not to. The facts match up perfectly. I, however, will admit I am uneasy whenever that happens.
That's absolutely fair, especially on this planet. And they know the Alpha Legion is involved somehow, and they knew the Alpha Legion was there before they even told them they are, so... But at the same time, are you really gonna start investigating, try to figure out stuff about the Alpha Legion?
Probably not the best idea.
But it seems like a great way to waste some resources.
At best.
Some lives too, probably. I would assume they're
Probably.
just gonna go ahead and stab whoever actually figures out what the Alpha Legion is doing.
Either that or try to make them double agents.
Yeah, because I feel like one of two things is going to happen there. Like, the Alpha Legion are instantly going to, like, ghost whoever you send out, or they will figure out instantly who you're trying to get to observe them, and either, double agent them immediately, or feed them false information just to screw with you.
Or both.
Or both. Because it'd be funny, and it seems like the Alpha Legion occasionally do things like just to screw with people.
Yeah. And they gave, well, Sonica, we definitely know he's part of them. He's talking about his branding. Which also is kind of not the greatest idea to just put a stamp on all the people you have in your ranks.
Probably not.
What do I know?
'Cause I feel like that makes it real easy, like if that ever got out. Be like, are you an Alpha Legion agent?
No, I really
Nope.
like the band Hydra.
Yeah, right? That's a college tattoo. I don't even...
I've been drunk. Let's not talk.
So I think a cooler, better idea, if you've ever listened to Night Fame, very awesome little audio drama, but Alpha Legion were like performing surgery on their operatives and like chiseling little marks into their bones. And that seems, one, both more effective, and two, a lot cooler.
Ooh. Maybe that's the thing the high level agents get, and not just the field people.
Yeah. Not just like the...
mass-produced ones.
Yeah, like the version of like an office temp.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you're one of us.
So, let's see. What's going on now?
Roxana is having a talk with clearly Alfarius.
Clearly Alfarius.
And he brought some help. They want to figure out what Grammaticus is doing. And they brought Sheer. And we know that's not very pleasant. And we leave him alone with Brace Yourself. Ooh.
Sheer is kind of a creeper. Like,
I mean, if I'm sitting in a room, tied down on a chair, and somebody comes in, the only thing he says is brace yourself, not like, hello. That's very concerning.
Right. It does... Yeah, it's not a real comfortable scene. So, alright, let's see here. Oh, right, so this next goofy little scene that... And I know I'm kind of ragging on Dan Abnett's writing in this one, and I love Dan Abnett, but I think he does have some pretty, like... Because he does a scene almost exactly like this in one of the Eisenhorn books.
Yeah.
Where we pretend that we don't know this random adept we're suddenly paying super close attention to. We pretend that we don't know it's John Grammaticus for a while, even though... so, let's see.
Honestly, it's just a few sentences.
Yeah.
And then right away we are, oh my love, oh Roxana, oh my love, what have I done to you?
Oh God, right? Oh man, it's just, like, I feel like the weird little romance there is from, like, a worse book than the rest of this novel.
Honestly, the super secret agent spy parts are real awesome, but yeah, no, this romance is... It just comes out of nowhere.
Exactly. Like, the secret agent things, they're a little cheesy, but they're, like, fun cheesy. Like,
maybe true love hits harder in space.
Oh, right. It's like explosions in space. They're louder because there's no air to get in the way.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly. So, obviously, love particles work the same way.
But also, this is one of the first times where John is confident or competent. He gets the information he needs. He's not getting found out until he leaves the place and hides evidence.
Though I do think maybe this is the one point in the book where Chain isn't very competent. Yeah. Because, like, as John Grammaticus / Adept Arum is accessing, like, all of this classified information, that's the exact information that's part of Chain's ongoing investigation. Chain's like, hey, the heck are you doing? Why are you accessing this material?
I was told to.
Yeah, and
carry on.
Grammaticus does it right in front of him. Like, he doesn't even use a what do they call them? Like, cogitator? Mm-hmm. He doesn't even use a computer that's, like, pointed towards the wall, right? He just, like, logs into one, like, in the middle of the floor. Like, at least pick, like, an end cubicle, man. Like,
and that makes him more suspicious. Although maybe he kind of smooths stuff over with his suspicion, with his psychic power.
Right.
Because it takes him a second to realize it. He asks for copies, keeps on carrying on to more important things, and as soon John leaves, that's when he's like, wait a second. So maybe he just suppressed any doubts in Shane's mind until he was able to get away.
Closer was helpful in helping to mentally smooth that over and get the information that he needed.
The what?
I guess it would make a little sense, but I feel like John keeps like, his plans keep getting more and more slipshod and half-assed, and he's just like, oh no, my psychic powers will fill in the gaps. And I feel like he keeps falling back on that.
Are you
Like,
saying he's a one-trick pony, babe? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, a bit, yeah, but also it's
That's all
like
he's got.
more and more stuff he's doing is just like, I'll figure it out. My powers will figure it out.
I mean, that's
Like-
what Shane said. Overconfidence was gonna kill this guy. That's
Like,
probably what's
you know-
gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's exactly what Chain said, and that's exactly what John's doing. I mean, why worry about like your power? Because it's already been shown that the Lucifer Blacks are a lot more skilled and against like mental manipulation. So why,
It works
Why
out
let-
though. It works out. He gets the information he needs. He gets away, and it sounds like there's time pressure. So to make an elaborate plan, you have just not, or probably he didn't have the time. Because I don't want to know how long John would need to really come up with a real plan for something.
But I mean, with like at least have another web page open and like be ready to alt tab it over, you know?
Yeah, like back in school when you were playing a game and you should have research stuff.
Exactly. But anyhow,
Now we get to the juicy parts. Now we get to
the real manly stuff.
the
Put some
heroic
hair on
things.
your chest.
There's a
Yeah.
great scene I need to talk to you about because I cannot read.
no worries. Occasionally it's a little difficult when Dan Abnett makes up a whole bunch of names at once.
Yeah.
And in classic Dan Abnett fashion, because he has had years of experience, even at this point, writing Gaunt's Ghosts books, it's another kind of Dan Abnett affectation where we learn a whole bunch about a guy that we've never heard of before. And it's like, oh yeah, that guy's super dead. Like, we're going to figure out, like, we hear about this guy's morning, like, what kind of breakfast he had as an officer, like him writing a note, like, a letter back to his wife, and like his kids finally got into the college or like, I don't know, the academia he wanted to get into, and his dog just had puppies. Like, the more you find out about a dude from Dan Abnett, the surer you can be that man is just going to bite it.
Yeah. And he doesn't get a nice or graceful death. We just know, he tries to speak the name of his wife, manages the first two syllables, and then he dies. And he doesn't tell us what kills him.
Yeah.
He just sees what's coming for them.
Right. Like, what's this dude's wife's name? Like,
Not important. We know what he ate for breakfast. Then a kilometer away, people kind of figure out something's going on. They hear stuff.
what gets to me, though, is I feel like occasionally Dan Abnett concentrates on things that aren't as interesting. Like, I sort of want to know what's going on with, like, this crazy mist cloud that's, like, enveloping everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
I want to know.
Also, like, we get next to zero explanation about that. Also, I really want to know about the Ragnall Thorns, because apparently they have psychoreceptive steel quill armor that, activates when they are, in combat situations. And, like, every one of them have, like, these ancient handmade war suits that have, like, these psychoreactive mechanized blade systems. And the only thing we find out about these guys, other than that, is they die.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I want to know what's going on there.
I mean, what helped me a little bit to get over the fact is the fact that Bronzy gets a kick in the butt.
Right, like a literal kick straight in the ass.
I don't know. I don't dislike Bronzy, but still, it's fair. He's lazy.
Yeah, he needed a kick in the ass.
He needed it. It just makes the world a little bit better.
I mean, because essentially all he and Pato have done at this point is sign up for the Alpha Legion
And deliver a friend?
and day drink.
Lots of day drinking.
A whole lot of day.
He got somebody killed. Well, kind of killed.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. Maybe that's why he does all the day drinking. But at least here we start to kind of figure out like what's going on with, if not the mist itself, how the Nerthine army is using it for like cover.
Oh, also, do you guys know what wormwood is?
I don't know if it's a real or imaginary thing, but wormwood is it's a sign of death.
Yeah, in a lot of cultures.
I think it's in the Bible.
Huh.
We're looking it up.
Oh, yeah. So
It's a real species.
Yeah,
it's an ornamental plant.
But it's used for digestion problems. Let's see, what else was... Because it's also a state or source of bitterness or grief.
Yeah, because...
okay, so...
okay, it makes so much sense.
Wormwood is in the Bible. Wormwood is a star or angel that appears in the Book of Revelation. And...
So, the German name for it is Wermut. And when you translate the word, the translation is worminess.
It also, in the Book of Revelation, it also refers to the water being turned into wormwood or made bitter and not being able to be drunk. The English rendering wormwood refers to the dark green oil produced by the plant, which is used to kill intestinal worms.
Hey, it's practical, kills parasites, and, well, it kills a whole bunch of people here, because the cloud smells like wormwood.
Yeah, it can be toxic and fatal in large amounts.
It's nice for them to have a callback to the Bible, I guess. Or a universal sign of death.
Well, I mean, there are like a whole bunch of biblical references spread throughout. So
a lot of Warhammer stuff.
Yes.
It's a lot of biblical references. It's funny because I'll be listening to Jason sometimes, and I'm like, "Why are you talking about some
the Gethsemane system?"
Yeah.
So
yeah, we get Browsy is up. He's fighting, and we learn a bit of his past with blights, worms, and things. Because we need more plagues right now. What is a giant wall of death coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about other things.
Can I just say that was such an over-the-top reference because they use wormwood so many times, and it's like, we get it. Death is coming. Come on. Like,
it is a little...
on a biblical scale. Okay, we got it.
Well,
it's a little heavy-handed.
It tells us how dangerous a black cube is, I guess. We don't know what it's doing, but we know it's going to be real deadly.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be real bad.
In case you missed it the last time, here's wormwood again mentioned.
Just real bad, you guys. It's going to suck.
And the murmur starts to turn into a scream. They all get ready.
So I do like how they talk about how effective the his jokers are. Mm-hmm. That they're like, setting up, they're using like all of the formations. Let's see, a CAD formation, 6 lines, cannons to the front, mortars to the ridge, relay it, and it's cool, like the visualization of how the jokers are setting up. And I think it's unique because they've got so many lines of things like stacked up. Mm-hmm. And just, it makes a cool visual image of both, like science fiction, but also almost medieval, and how they set up with like their huge long gravity pikes.
Oh yeah, those super long ones. I also gotta give Bronzy some recognition again. He just got woken up by somebody kicking him awake.
Yeah.
And he's ready for war. He knows what to do. He's good at his job.
Probably a little hungover too, man.
Absolutely.
But he is up. He is ready. He is not taking any crap. It's good times.
Yeah. And then the higher ups figure out what's going on. Because suddenly people keep dying. They kind of like get in touch with them. We are dying. And that's it.
Yeah, it's not great. We kind of start... I feel like this is the first part in the novel that we actually start to get an idea of what the Uxor's sept abilities, kind of how they help them coordinate. Mm-hmm. Because they say, like, they get the feeling that, like, they get like feelings and premonitions and stuff that like they understand. We feel this, added Uxor Bahana. I have a company at CR90, the Jacks. Except they are already dead. So it's like they never nail down and specifically, again, like in classic Dan Abnett fashion, you have to pick out everything out of context clues. It's like he doesn't give you anything.
Yeah.
Stuff's not doing, not going real well for the loyalists here. About the best they can hope for. Their lines are getting just mown over by this giant dust cloud, kind of cloaking whatever's going on. And they're trying to reroute some Titans from Princess Jeveth. I don't know if we talked about this. We checked out and looked it up. It's Princeps, not Princess. That'd be funnier. But
Let him be a princess if he wants to.
Right. Jeveth from Legio Xerxes. And there is absolutely nothing, like, because you know what a lore junkie I am.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely nothing on Princess Jeveth or Legio Xerxes besides the fact a whole bunch of them die on Nerthine. Or Nerth.
There we go. Now we know what happened to them. Poor guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, here's the scene I was super confused about.
Uh-huh.
Because we see Brownsy fighting. 20 seconds in and his gun was out. I read gut was out. So I read he threw it at a Nuthrine and snorted as it bounced off the man's skull. Like, whoa. This guy is not scared.
Right? Bronzy's like just knocking him down. Because this is the first time we've seen Bronzy kind of like been in combat.
Yeah, and he's good.
I think, it's a good view of him because he's been kind of reactionary and a little passive up to this point.
And they described him in a way I didn't think he's much of a fighter, especially big bellied, or I guess he had a beer belly.
Yeah, they like constantly, make fun of how chubby he is. It's like, oh, his tattoo was generously upholstered in extra flesh. But he's knocking shit down. And what I love here, giant crocodilians, like from the mist. And Bronzy has got zero time for that bullshit.
Oh, he just chucks out them down.
Because, these things, like, they're big enough to hold entire, like, combat howdahs of, like, Nerthine archers. So, they're probably the size of, like, woolly mammoths, right? And
they're riding dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're basically riding dinosaurs. And speaking of which, I think at some point we have to do Damnation of Pythos, because it's just Jurassic Park meets Event Horizon, and it's magically bad. I love it so much.
Oh, God.
But that's good. Neither here nor there. That's for a later episode. But yeah, Bronzy just, like, he's got a little pepper pot revolver, and he just unloads this thing into a dinosaur and just blows the entire side of its face and shoulder off.
Yeah, he is. I would freak out if a dinosaur is about to attack me, no matter what. But yeah, it's a normal day. Let's keep going.
Yeah. It doesn't even faze him really when a giant, like, super, like, crocodile comes out of the mist that's like the size of a dinosaur. And he's basically like, wow, that's big. And then he blows its face off.
And the whole company, honestly, they need to pull back just because otherwise they will absolutely be lost. And they do it. Mm. There has to be a lot of good discipline with the Jokers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because it is kind of a neat visual image for when the Nerthine finally get into the lines of pikemen, because they've got these... I do kind of appreciate the hilarity of the line. The Geno pikemen leaned into the weight and multiple impacts, some grunting as their elongated poles hoisted whole bodies off the ground. It's an impressive visual. Like these, giant 30 meter-long pikes are just stabbing dudes to, like, keep them away from the lasmen. But the riflemen, can only shoot dudes so fast, and you can only stab, like, how many dudes practically can you stab with a 30-meter-long stick before it's not practical to continue stabbing them?
Especially how many dinosaurs are going to be stabbed by this as well.
Yeah, right?
Like, at least they have a little bit more of a length than back in the days, but wow. And then there's just one dude kind of holding back. That's impressive. This is a buff man.
Yeah, apparently it gets to the point that they've, like, shish kebabbed so many dudes on these things that, like, the little anti-gravity things on the pikes are shorting out.
Yeah.
And then, like, I know that the Nerthian are probably using, like, well, they describe them as darts. But honestly, it just makes me think of, like, did you have those old school lawn darts as a kid?
No, I don't think they were ever allowed in Europe.
Yeah, because they're super dangerous.
Oh, yeah, because there's like a metal... They're like a metal tip. They're essentially like, giant bar darts. I mean, they're like...
let's give us children.
Yeah, they're like the length of your forearm.
Okay. The visual on a lawn dart is like a giant bar dart, but you put the target at your feet.
And you hurl them in the air.
Well, and no, it's sort of like your opponent is supposed to hurl their lawn dart at your circle, at your feet, and you're supposed to hurl your lawn darts at
So it's like a super deadly cornhole game? Nice.
Hurt. Yeah.
Perfect.
Super deadly cornhole game. That is the best way to describe that.
And
so you're lucky they were illegal in Germany.
Oh, I would have probably hurt myself real bad with this. I'm really good at hurting myself somehow.
Yeah, yes, lots of Americans hurt themselves real bad.
And they're not around anymore for a reason, right?
Yeah, but like every time I hear about the Nerthian launching darts, that's what I'm picturing. Like these combat darts.
Probably poisonous lawn darts.
Right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's kind of what I envisioned as well. Only, I would probably end up hurting myself too. But
so,
and we're talking a bit about how the Legion is going to join the fight. All the organization. I think Namatjira is on the planet.
I think so.
And he's kindly sending a message to the Alpha Legion to check out, are they going to join?
Right?
I don't think that's kindly.
It's like, could you extend to them the courtesy of showing up and doing their damn job?
Signal them, Major General. For a second, a tiny flash of his carefully suppressed rage showed itself. Inquire as to their status and ask respectfully if they intend to join. It's great wording. Because you cannot go ahead to the Emperor's son or one of his sons and be like, hey bitch, where you at?
Right.
At least not do it and survive.
Oh yeah, because Namatjira will 100% like yell at everybody within earshot, but not the Alpha.
Important. Yeah.
I do kind of love how Namatjira tries to turn it around and say like, oh, this is terrific. This is a great challenge. The Nerthian have taught us a lesson about expectation. We have them besieged and outnumbered, and we hold a clear advantage, yet they have still invaded us. And it's like he's trying to, like, this is a learning experience for all you.
How about this? Why didn't they have any motion sensors set out beyond the camp so that if things started rolling in, they would have advance warning? We have the ability to do that now.
Megan, clearly they didn't need it, because why would they ever charge at the overmight of the Imperium?
Right.
Just in case they try to sneak attack at night, you'd still think they'd put out some motion sensors.
I mean, you would think.
There's a reason why they had to call the Alpha Legion, and it did not only have to do with the fact that Nerthian are super deadly, but also they're not very confident at times. Maybe if you have to keep fighting people who just don't know technology very well, you just don't bother with your own eventually.
I just feel like, and it really hurts me to say this, because I will 100% trumpet the virtues of mortals, like in the Horus Heresy all day long. But it really seems like everybody here that's not a Space Marine is kind of bad at their job.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the Space Marines are that great either if they have the top 5 people in their command structure in the same location.
I mean, yeah, that's not great either, but...
Just gonna say that.
I feel like, yeah, like, Chain is the only person that's really getting his job done.
Sonica, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean...
When he's not drunk?
Yeah, but he's not day drinking with Bronzy.
Maybe day drinking is part of the job.
In which case, he is just nailing it.
Yeah.
Oh, so I do like here the little bit of foreshadowing from Namatjira. Like, he says for the Nerthine, it's almost as if it's their intention. They must know our superior firepower ultimately slaughter them. It's almost as if they're committing suicide as a race.
Yes.
And we find out later, when we finally figure out what the stupid black cube is, Grammaticus, when he explains it, says that they want you to kill them because the cube, its catalyst, like, is the spilling of blood. So I thought that was kind of like a neat little bit of foreshadowing for a little bit later in the book.
Oh, that's true. Could spill blood to spill more blood.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go. Poor Sonica. I think he's very sad there, or very distressed.
Yeah, and probably hungover again, because this guy they've been making fun of in Demi Shaban's company the entire book, Strabo, is apparently a pretty competent, well-put-together dude, because he's held the company together, even though Demi Shaban is, like, long gone.
Yeah, they didn't have a head anymore, and apparently it's super important for them to have a head.
Yeah. But Strabo holds it together.
Yeah, but he thinks he lost all of his dancers. He had to kind of betray the Geno, and now he thinks he lost Bronzy, who pulled him all into this whole mess. So I don't know if he's really sad or more annoyed at this point. And he tries to go and help him, but they don't permit it.
No, I think he kind of knows that it wouldn't be a great idea, but...
At least he asked, I guess.
I mean, Bronzy is his friend. He doesn't want him to, kind of be strung out by himself.
And then we have John. John coming up and picking up Sonica.
Right?
Just kind of waltzing in there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how's it going? Take me to your leader. And this kind of irritates me because he, doesn't... John Grammaticus just kind of bowls his way through everything, and it's like, yeah, I don't care that you're, the acting commander of a brand new company that's just getting ready to enter its first combat engagement with you as their commanding officer.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta go.
Yeah. Let's beat it. Take me to the Alpha Legion.
It's more important. The best is the Alpha Legion agrees. They're just like, yeah, no, you're leaving. We cover for you. Go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And once again, I think he just did the same thing. Just putting a name on and not bothering with anything else. And it works.
Yeah.
So maybe he's not that horrible. Or everybody around him is real bad. He just cannot go against people who are actually good.
Just real bad. But hey, as that's happening, we're figuring out that Bronzy is still alive. With about half of his company.
Yeah.
They even managed to pick up a couple units of the Outramar that have been, kind of demolished, but still have, some dudes left.
They're doing the best they can.
They're doing the best they can.
Like all of the mortals.
And Bronzy sees that the Zanzibari Horde are, pushing up this huge full force of tanks, and he's kind of curious why they're not, considering Major General Dev's habit to plunge his fast armor into the enemy infantry cohorts like heavy cavalry. Because they're, just kind of piling around and dawdling. And he gets that explanation when 3 Titans kind of loom out of the mist. The thing that frustrates me here is they're just described as Titans.
You don't know which ones they are?
Yeah, I want to know what kind. Like, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what Legio they're with. I want to know.
Doesn't it tell you what Titans died in the entry? Or is it just Titans?
It doesn't say anything, like any details, other than at some point, Legio Xerxes.
So I guess Legio Xerxes was overall so unimportant I didn't even bother to write down what the god machines were, what their weapon layout was. Not even the names. That's a shame.
Right? It's like, I want to know. And how, you know what? If you just knocked out all the effort on, like, the Romance D plot and put it into, like, fleshing out Javeth and Legio Xerxes a little bit more, I bet a whole lot more people would have appreciated it.
At least the Titan nerds.
I didn't have that question.
Me neither, to be fair, but, I mean, Titan is a Titan. I'm very ignorant that way.
As am I. I was like, oh, that just sounds cool. Stompy robots showing up on the horizon. Cool.
Giant chompy.
Yeah.
Even bigger than the tripods in War of the Worlds.
So I was just kind of like, cool, that's fun.
All right, so...
While you're getting irritated.
They are probably warlords, because it says here... let's see, he was unprepared for the astonishing rapidity of their rate of fire, the zipping torrential pulse and spit of green, amber, and white light that unloaded from their forearms and shoulders. So it's got to be at least a Reaver class.
I love that this means something to you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm also just kind of listening.
Because Warhounds don't have shoulder mounts.
It's okay, Caro. You can call him a nerd. It's all good.
Oh, I do it relentlessly.
I'm thinking...
Listen to us complain about romance and Jason nerding out.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
That's the description, okay?
Yeah. But I like trying to, like, get to the bottom of this, because...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's not letting it go, so, they're all just... all these comments are just bouncing right off of him. He'll keep going. Unloaded
from their forearms and shoulders, multiple. So I'm guessing they're warlords because they have multiple shoulder mounts, where Reavers just have, like, a single center back mount.
Mm-hmm.
But that's merely conjecture.
Context clues.
Context clues.
Dan, if you listen to this, what were those Titans, or did you just not bother to figure it out yourself?
I need to know, Dan Abnett.
Please, listen to this and give us an answer, after I told you your jokes are bad.
Sorry, the hot breath on the back of the hand was not Dan Abnett, it was Jim Butcher, so...
Right,
okay, we're good there, then.
We're good.
Mr. Abnett, you will never write a romance scene as awkward as Jim Butcher.
Here we go. So...
True.
Back to Sonica and Henniger.
Yeah.
Because he's just, they're looking for you.
Who are not in love.
Sadly.
Supposedly. We don't know.
That would be an interesting love triangle.
But
we're helping Dan Abnett. We're coming up with ideas, okay?
Yeah, there we go. If there's ever a second part of Legion.
A better D-plot than what we got to work with.
I do love that the only reason John Grammaticus is doing this is because the Cabal is, like, kicking him in the ass. Like, he already wanted to bail and just leave. Which, yeah, I mean...
You're just like, hell no, you're not.
Right? It's like, no, you get in there, you do the job we pay you for, and...
Or pay you or made you for?
Either.
Really both.
Really.
Some of both.
Yeah.
Does John Grammaticus get paid?
We don't know.
I would assume he does.
I mean, he got paid with invincibility, I guess? Oh, well.
Yeah, I guess sort of. They're paying him in immortality.
He's got to pay to get his own body gloves made, probably.
Probably.
Maybe.
It's a custom job.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets per diem or something. We'll see.
Oh, we also figure out that Sonica's like call sign for the Alpha Legion is Lernin 841. That's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that neat, babe?
Larens are special in the Alpha Legion. Laren Terminators.
Yeah, like the Lernin Hydra. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even sarcastic. I have no idea what it means.
Oh yeah, Lernin.
I only know it because I bought those guys, so...
Okay.
Because
All
they're
right.
amazing models.
Yes, they're super pretty.
But, so yeah, that's, like we were saying before, he contacts the Alpha Legion, and they were like, no, bring this dude to us.
Yeah.
Just drop everything you're doing. Yeah, we'll figure it out, or something.
No, I can't. Yes, you can. We will cover for you.
Yep.
Just
You're
go.
doing it.
Just doing it.
And he does it. Like, nobody there tries to stop him or anything. I guess if you're the leader, you can just leave during battle, but still.
Yeah. You know,
It's like, yeah, good luck.
Not up to his sergeants to tell him what to do. Though I do love, I mean, if you kind of read behind this, the crap that Strabo has had to put up with through the length and breadth of this novel is it's pretty rough. Because he's basically held this company together, and just the day before, they're telling him you're finally getting a new hetman. And then, like, 30 seconds before they're under, like, you know, assault, his new hetman just disappears, and he's got to roll the company back up and command it again.
Yeah. And he just leaves with, March and Fortune. Bye.
Yeah, and the hetman have done nothing but make fun of Strabo this entire time.
Strabo is the real victim here. He did his best, and they do not appreciate him.
He's like the unsung hero of this entire book.
Another man who's actually good at his job.
Yeah, he's spectacular at his job, and his commanding officer's job. But no, they just make fun of him for it.
Yeah. Maybe it's because they're jealous while they were day drinking.
Probably.
But no,
I feel like you're taking this a bit personally.
I just love to poke at like underlying themes in books that probably have like are completely unintentional or non-existent.
So Sonika and John are talking a little bit. He gets a bit of a backstory on John. At least that he's not human, all those things. And I wonder how much of this does Sonika really believe? Or it's just like, oh yeah, sure.
Right, like how much he thinks he's just like making it up.
Right?
He does point out that Henneke says to the Imperial expedition. And Sonika's like, "Oh, interesting choice of words. It implies you're not Imperial." And Henneke / Grammaticus is like, "Nope, I'm not. I'm human. At least human enough for your needs. I'm not the enemy. You have to understand. I'm fighting for the same cause as you, which is the survival of the species."
My one wish is to save the human race from the slow and tormenting death that is about to overtake it.
He just comes out sounding like a drama queen, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and Sonika thinks so too. It would be great if you start dealing in specifics.
Right?
Yeah.
And after war coming, the greatest war of mankind, I mean, at least they know it. Like I said, I don't think Sonika buys any of what he's saying, or at least not a lot. But he doesn't need to buy it. It's the Alpha Legion what has to buy it.
He does take like half a paragraph to see what's up with Rukshana.
Right? I am a little bit human. I know what's going on. I'm here to save the species. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, how's the Rukshana? Which he just called his love before. Like, shouldn't this be one of the first things he's asking before he's going off on a tangent about how he's not a person? Or not a human?
I think it's less than a paragraph. I think altogether it's like 5 lines. And then he's off that, and he's like, "Oh, your name's Pedro Sonika. That's funny. Not long ago, it almost decided to be you. Because I borrow identities from the dead, but turns out you're not dead."
Ha! That is a good joke. That just makes me feel warm and fuzzy with you.
Right? That Grammaticus, he's a comedian, man.
He's a smooth talker and a comedian.
Right? So, Sonika drops off John Grammaticus at a old Nerthine bastion.
Mm-hmm.
And there is apparently the Alpha Legion just stick that little Hydra symbol wherever they're going to show up.
Charles isn't very smart.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a great idea. But, you know, it's what they're doing.
What else? Like, John just casually scurries inside and is like, "Herzog, Peck, yo."
How's it going?
What up, guys?
Because, you know.
And Sonika does have no idea. He still cannot keep them apart. I don't think most mortals can.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because it is kind of funny, though, because when he's like, hey, Alfarius, like, the third Astartes is like, can you be certain? And he's like, yeah, I heard your voice before at the pavilion, and I never forget it.
I never forget a vocal pattern, and your build is appreciably larger than that of your captains. Goes off on a whole tangent.
But only to realize that he's wrong.
Right?
Yeah. And at least I need to speak to you, and you need to listen. Like, yes, you are just gonna stand in front and tell them to do. And Sonika tries to go back, but they don't let him.
Yeah.
Per Sonika.
He's trying to do his job, but I feel like he's just in way over his head at this point.
Right. At least they tell him why. How did Koenig know that you were an operative of the Alpha Legion? How did he know how to find you? Because I have the feeling Chase is gonna be really close soon.
Probably, because, I mean, they're essentially kind of subtly threatening him here, right? Like,
you failed somehow.
Obviously, you weren't as circumspect as you thought you were. But, so I like here that Grammaticus, next chapter over, takes a pretty, well, first off, he figures out that, unlike all the other Alpha Legionnaires who just resemble each other, the dude Alfarius is talking to is big, even by the standards of hybrid vigor exhibited by Astartes. He matches the Primarch in every dimension. Their body language duplicated down to the slightest gesture, and their faces were like twins.
Mm-hmm. And you wondered if he had been wrong.
Yeah.
I wonder if they both themselves still know who's who.
Oh, I love, too, how when John asks Peck, like, Inigo Peck, like, who's that dude talking to Alfarius? And they're like, oh, Omegon, he's commander of the stealth squad. And then it's like an in-joke that nobody else gets. And Grammaticus, inside like 5 minutes, forgets that the Alpha Legion have a psyker just hanging out to, like, stab him in the cerebellum if he tries any psychic shenanigans.
Yeah, I love it. It's like with a dog and the newspaper, like, no.
Yeah,
or, sorry, a cat in a water bottle.
He just instantly forgets. And then, they just, like, I don't know, set off a smoke alarm in his head. And, it's not great.
Honestly, it is real bad. After all, one of his eye became bloodshot. So whatever this guy did, oof. Like,
ruptures blood vessels in one of his eyes, which isn't great.
No. And Sonic is like, what? Why? He didn't do anything. Oh my god, what are you guys doing?
Right? He thinks they're just, like, messing with him.
Poor pedo.
And I love how when Grammaticus talks to Alfarius again, he says, like, you dudes are exactly identical, and they try and play it off. Like, Herzog's like, to the eyes of, other humans, like, all Astartes look the same. And Peck's like, you can't read our features or distinguish our dissimilarities. To you, we're just inhuman things stamped from a mold. Like, they're trying to just hand wave it off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's not what I meant either.
Yeah.
I also love that they should have known by now that he's pretty darn good and that he found them out, but no, they just kind of try to keep telling him, no, you're clearly not, no, it's not right.
And then, again, it's like he almost forgets, like, seconds afterwards when he asks, which one of you is actually Alfarius? It's like, what the hell answer do you think you're going to get from? Right?
They also loved it. No, I really can. I feel like if he would have stomped, it would have brought a point of port, because they really don't want to tell you what's going on, and you know what's going on, kind of. Just give up. Come on. But he also got told only to talk to Alfarius, so I guess it's also a problem the Cabal have, because they didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he finally does get that message across, which is that the Cabal has kicked him in the ass to come here and warn you that this world has about a day of life left in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta flee before it overwhelms you.
They don't seem to be taking him super seriously.
Yeah. They're
like, let me finish putting on my armor.
like, well, get around to it. But hey, then we get to check back in with Bronzy.
Who doesn't have time to day drink yet?
He doesn't. He probably wants to.
I mean, I would also want to if he just fought against dinosaurs.
Right. Well, it wasn't so much of a fight as he just like blew one of their faces off and like kept going.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, they have a really good view of the Titans blasting all hell out of the landscape.
Yeah. Oh, I do love this. If there was a Nerthian left alive, he'd be surprised. The Imperial Army, combined with a Titan Legion from Terra's fraternal twin, Mars, Emperor bless the Mechanicum, had done what it was designed to do, and had crushed and obliterated the Nerthian.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Right? Emperor bless that Mechanicum. True words. So, yeah, the Titans have basically just kicked over a Nerth's last-ditch effort.
Yeah, and then we see how black and lightless they had become.
Mm-hmm.
Does it
Not great.
No, it's never good.
Really working that whole Black Dawn.
Yeah, because next sentence, back in the cave, the Nerthian possessed a device known as Black Cube.
And I love that even Grammaticus is like, I can't explain it. I don't understand it. I only know what it does.
Yeah, it's... The Cabal believes that they were used in ancient wars between the first Comer races and in the galaxy's youth, which is super amazing that A, they had it around, and B, they knew how to use it.
Yeah. I think, what would that be, the Old Ones and the Necrontyr?
Maybe.
That would make sense.
It was interesting that the Herzog just tries to, like, meh, whatever.
Blow him off.
Yeah, blow him off. Absolutely blow him off.
But this is one thing where I think it really deviates from... Because this is almost in like a horror movie, right? Where somebody explains like, no, there really is a super monster out there. And then the like, police or their friends or whatever just straight up don't believe them.
Yeah, and then they die. The person who told them dies, usually.
Yeah. But I do appreciate the fact that it kind of bucks convention. And the Alpha Legion ask like intelligent questions like, how do we stop it? What do we do? And I do think it's a little off-brand for Alfarius to be like, I don't know, I don't think Namet Jira will just listen to me. And like Grammaticus has to give him like, the pep talk. It's like, you're a Primarch, one of them at least, use your influence.
Yeah, I wonder how many people did that and survived to tell the tale. Just snapping at a Primarch because they have a way too high opinion of themselves.
Yeah. Although, just a few paragraphs later, Alfarius is like, I don't run from a fight. And then Peto Sonica is like, don't you?
Ha! Yeah, Sonica also there.
Right, we remember Sonica's there, right?
And also, Peck tries to save him. Did you speak, Pedo? Like, please say no, please say no. Oh, you better say no if you know what's good for you.
And he's like, wait, hang on. Let me rephrase. What I meant to say was, you guys are unsentimentally pragmatic.
Alfarius' eyes narrow. I don't want to be in that gaze.
Right? When did you suddenly become an expert on the Alpha Legion's military ethics?
Yeah, I only report what I've seen with my own eyes.
Conscripted me into service.
Right? A little bit.
Yeah. Without qualm or reservation, you do whatever is necessary to win. The dancers I've left in the sand that tell Utan will rest to that. Yes, you freaking killed my company.
And I do appreciate that this kind of goes the exact opposite direction you'd probably expect. Because Alfarius and Omegon look at each other and then do an anime nod, and they're like, all right, signal the Legion to stand down and let's beat it.
Yeah. And what's safe?
Yeah, what's a safe distance? And he's like, the edge of the system would be prudent. No chances.
And they have a formation for this, for some reason.
I mean, I feel like they have a formation for everything.
Probably. Just imagine the poor bastard who has to go through the whole book and try to figure out which one is.
Yeah. And I love how Alfarius, threatens him.
Yes.
If this proves to be a trick, I will oversee your execution. And then I will hunt out and exterminate your stupid cabal.
Yeah, and that, sir, is entirely reasonable.
And that's a great spot for it to transition on over into part 2.
Yeah, for me to complain again. Why did he not ask them about Roxana? I mean, I guess there's more important stuff right now, but it's true love.
Right? What are you doing, John Grammaticus? Aren't you afraid your girlfriend's going to blow up with the planet?
Oh, John. Yeah, we're leaving off. Will they figure out a way to get Namajura to believe them and actually save the people? We'll see.
We will see.
You've got to say that in the old-timey, announcer's voice. Tune in next time.
Tune in next time when we figure out if Namajura will listen to our brave heroes, John Grammaticus and the Alpha Legion. Will everybody survive, or will everybody die a horrible death?
Tune in next time, and we'll talk about it.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Heresy Book Club, part of the Remembrancers Retreat, a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy podcast. If you enjoy this program, be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at RR30k Podcast, Instagram at RR30k. You can also visit our website at rr30k.com, where you can find Battlefleet Heresy Compendium, our free homebrew Battlefleet Gothic expansion for playing in the Horus Heresy. You can also join our Discord server, which the link will be at rr30k.com. And if you would like to support our program, become a patron today. Go to patreon.com/rr30k podcast. Right now, we'd like to thank all of our patrons, starting with our Legion Praetor tier: Alex Self, Chaplanisar, Chris Mack, Garner.Triovo, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, Sarah Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bust 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's, and What's Ligma? Our Legion Centurions: Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Angry Boy, Dave Jones, Duncan, Ed, John Christensen, M. Tanzer, Gorkrow, Queen Corswain, Scott LeMay, and the original Applesauce. And finally, our Legion Sergeants: Agrippina, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Mr. Sear, Nick Gillen, The Zoe, and What Do I Call Myself? Once again, thank you all so much for your support, and we'll see you next time. Keep those dice rolling.